Our headlines today. Questions over this photo of the Princess of Wales and her children after several of the world's biggest picture agencies retract the image over concerns it was manipulated.
It is Monday, the 11th of March, and this photograph of the Princess of Wales and her children has been pulled from circulation by several of the world's biggest photo agencies over concerns that it has been manipulated.
The picture, which was released by Kensington Palace yesterday for Mother's Day, is the first official photo of the princess since she had abdominal surgery in January. Our reporter Simon Jones has the latest.
Released at 9 o'clock yesterday morning by Kensington Palace to mark Mother's Day, a picture of the Princess of Wales surrounded by her children. The aim was to dampen speculation about Catherine's recovery from her recent abdominal surgery. But some people pointed out that the image looked odd, a view shared by several leading picture agencies which had initially sent out the photo worldwide. One of them said there was an inconsistency in the alignment of Princess Charlotte's left hand, meaning the image didn't reach the agency's standards.
Now, we have been talking about the picture of the Princess of Wales and her children released yesterday on Mother's Day that's now been recalled by some of the world's biggest photo agencies over concerns it has been manipulated.
Yeah, the news came out late last night. This is how the papers have reacted in their later editions. I think the first editions are basically what the Palace was hoping it would look like today, isn't it? A nice reassuring pictures, but by the time this one came out, the Telegraph's later edition, the headline reading, "Photo from the Palace was doctored, say agencies." The paper adding the caveat that there's no suggestion that the picture misrepresents the princess herself or her children, or that she's not in as good health as she appears. But lots of questions this morning about how that picture might have been changed.
Yes, the Daily Mail says the image of the Princess of Wales, Prince George, Princess Charlotte and Prince Louis was the reassurance we all needed following weeks of speculation about Catherine's health, but the paper questions whether the plan has now backfired.
The Times features the picture on its front page as well. I think the picture is on the front page of every paper this morning. And you see there, they've circled a little bit of Princess Charlotte's wrist at the end of her cardigan. That's just one of several. I think there are 7 or 8 different bits of the picture that have been highlighted by different media organisations as raising questions about whether it had been manipulated.
Now, one of the things we should point out at this point is on the front page of all the papers this morning is that lots of us might change photographs a little bit, family photographs, if not everybody's looking the right way, or perhaps one smile is better than the other, or someone's normally may have got your eyes closed. It's not unheard of for press agencies even to use, well, they will use photographs that have been slightly airbrushed, I suppose is the word.
Yeah,
filtered.
filtered.
Yeah, that's the word. So I don't think it's unusual, is it, to make changes to a photograph? That's not too scandalous.
That's right. But the Telegraph was saying this morning that the news agencies who basically send out those pictures to media organisations around the world, the ones who've now said, kill that picture, don't use it, the reason that they've done that, according to the Telegraph, isn't that there's been a slight tweak, is that the level of manipulation they are concerned about, that they think it goes beyond what would normally happen, that it misrepresents the picture.
And they would normally be happy with some level of manipulation, but they're saying it's just gone a little tiny bit too far.
So
too many changes.
A picture that was meant to reassure is this morning creating even more speculation. Now, this is the Elizabeth Emblem. It's a new award to honour people who've lost their lives while undertaking public service, and it will be given posthumously to the families of police officers, firefighters, ambulance staff and other public workers as a mark of recognition. It's available for those who lost their lives after 1948. It's the equivalent of the Elizabeth Cross. We've talked about that before. It's awarded to members of the armed forces who've lost their lives in combat. And now families will be able to apply for the emblem via the government website. Applications will then be considered by the George Cross Committee, who oversee all gallantry awards. Now, none of this would have been possible without the efforts of Bryn Hughes, who spent years campaigning for a medal to honour emergency service workers killed in the line of duty, in memory of his own daughter, Nicola. And Roger Johnson has his story.
As a grieving father, and you grieve every day, that gives you that space. You're running wherever you're running on the hills where I live, and you're alone with your thoughts, and you can process your thoughts, or attempt to process your thoughts.
To get through it, you've got to put one foot in front of the other. And that's what I viewed my journey through the grief process, if you like, by putting one foot in front of the other.
Over the past decade, Bryn Hughes has run thousands of miles, some of them in the most extreme conditions. It's helped him cope with the murder of his only daughter, Nicola.
2 police officers have been killed in Greater Manchester after responding to what turned out to be a bogus...
I tend to forget what she sounded like, what her voice was like, so I'd go through that and I'd relive happy memories, I suppose, and what would she be doing, what would she make of what I were doing, what would she be saying.
Since Nicola's death, Bryn has campaigned tirelessly in her name, setting up a charity to help children who are bereaved through violent crime. This memorial stone, close to where Nicola was killed, is one of the only public acknowledgements of her sacrifice.
They mean different things at different times, I suppose, but there's no official state recognition of what happened for Nicola and Fiona and other officers and other emergency service workers and public sector workers.
Nearly 2 years ago, he embarked on a new mission.
Good morning, welcome to Breakfast.
Calls for emergency service workers killed in the line of duty to be honoured with a special medal from the father of a police officer shot dead while attending a 999 call.
His call for a posthumous honour for emergency service workers received support from countless families in similar situations.
Hello, Bryn.
Pleased to meet you.
I'm Chris. It's a pleasure to meet you.
His campaign brought him face to face with politicians. Month after month, he was promised something was coming.
We are determined, Mr. Speaker, to ensure that sacrifice that police officers and other public service officers make is recognised.
And I hope we will be able to announce something very soon.
I'd say confusing and disappointing.
Those disappointments could have beaten Bryn, but he's proved repeatedly since Nicola's death that he will not be defeated. And now he's had the news that he's been waiting for. The Elizabeth Emblem will be introduced, recognising the sacrifice made not just by emergency services staff, but by all public sector workers who lose their lives in the course of doing their jobs.
I was always thinking it's going to be a dozen, 2 dozen people, but you're talking hundreds, if not thousands of people. And I suppose I take some pride out of that, but I also take some pride about what the rest of us have done from that, the rest of the people involved.
And that would be some legacy for Nicola Hughes and Bryn Hughes.
She'd be really proud. And I think she'd be embarrassed that it'd be, not in her name, but associated with her. She'd be, oh, this is for me, this is because of me.
Bryn Hughes speaking to Roger Johnson there.